Hey, I'm Randy Younger, New York City's go to film enthusiast. Every week, I dive deep into the world of cinema with special guests from the New York City film scene. Whether I'm interviewing industry insiders or comparing the latest releases, there's always something for every movie lover. Join me as I explore the magic of film and discover what makes these movies unforgettable. Hey guys, I'm Randy Younger, and it's a special edition of Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. And with me today, I have a very, very special guest. He's a legend in the film world, in the comedy world, Mr. Ed Begley Jr. Ed, welcome to the show.
Randy, thank you so much for having me on, buddy.
This is great. I've admired your work for decades, literally. Uh, but before we get into your my nostalgia of you, we're going to basically discuss your latest film, which is also a comedy. It's a dark comedy, and it's a strange one. I'm not going to lie, but I did
Very
enjoy it.
strange.
Yeah, it is called "Don't Tell Larry," and you have a part in the film. And basically, this film tells the story of a young woman who she makes a mistake. She I don't want to give it away. There's a lot to unwrap here, but basically, it's a dark comedy involving a select group of people that are affected by a tragedy and how they're basically trying to get out of this huge mess. I know that's a little vague,
All
but
started by one lie. It's a workplace thriller, but it starts with one lie and it
right,
snowballs from there.
exactly. I think you said it better than I, sir. Um, but I enjoyed the film. It is very quirky, very dark, lots of fun, great performances, obviously, and you have a great part in it as the boss at this company. And I'm just curious, what attracted you to the role?
I got a script from my agent, the way things normally happen, and most of them are mediocre to poor, but this was very funny and very dark, and I like both. So
Mm.
the idea of a workplace thriller with all those laughs packed in, and Greg and John, these two guys, Greg Porper and John Shimke, are so funny. I met them in person and really liked them a lot and liked the script. And I heard about the two people who were the leads. They're just fantastic. Patty Guggenheim and Kyle Kennedy, just wonderful, wonderful actors. Let me give you the names of the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
Also, Kenneth Mosley is in there playing Patrick. Tina Parker, I know from Better Call Saul. She was
Mm.
in Breaking Bad too. She's wonderful. And of course, Dot Marie Jones, wonderful
Yeah.
Dot Marie Jones is in it and fantastic. So great cast I heard about. And then we showed up on the set and we had a ball
Now, what was it like working with all these great people? Obviously, it's a fun environment. Did you guys get along right off the bat?
instantly. And they're
Nice.
great improv actors, all of them. When I was a younger man, I would do those improv movies with Chris Guest. I can't keep up with any of those people, let alone these young, brilliant people, like Kyle and Patty. They're just so good. I believe they work with Upright Citizens Brigade, a fine troop like that. They're part of that improv group, and boy, they show it. They're so funny, so quick. And once in a while, John or Greg would throw me an alt line, and I could usually handle it. When you're 75, things the microprocessor slows down a little bit, but fortunately, I still can kind of keep up.
I think you held your own. You did a very good job here. And yeah, it's just a wonderful cast. So funny.
I was playing this officious CEO, head of the company, and I'm an officious uh, head of the household here. So
Mm.
Rochelle, tries to mutiny occasionally, but who am I trying to keep? And
Yeah,
Rochelle calls all the shots. My wife calls the shots in this house. I try to be a CEO of the household. I don't do very well. So
nice.
I don't do very well in this movie too. I make a big mistake. I kind of do Patty wrong, and it shows.
Right,
She
right.
she decides to wreak some havoc, and it gets good from there.
Aside from the performances, it's the tone is just so good, and it's so off the wall, and you really don't know what direction it's going to go in. It keeps you guessing. Was it like that on the set? Were you constantly guessing?
I was constantly guessing with all the twists and turns I had from the script. They had some great improv ideas,
Mhm.
things to experiment with. And I loved it. When I first read it too. It was the same way, page after page. I had no idea what was going to happen next, and it surprised me right up to the final page. There's a real final twist at the end that's I didn't see coming. So I like it. I like the people that did it. So it'll be an Amazon. If you get it at Amazon and Apple TV, starting I think on the 20th or the 21st, but it'll definitely be in a couple of Lumley theaters. It'll be 7:30 if people are in the Southland and Encino at the town center there. Then the next night in Santa Monica to Lumley, and that's 7:30 on the 21st. So there's a few showings live if you want to be part of a panel. You
Oh,
know, I mean, witness to a panel. They'll have a wonderful panel with the writer, directors, and the actors of the movie. They'll be there, and it'll also be in Chicago, lots of other cities too. So there's lots of places to see it, or stay home and watch it on Apple or Amazon.
there you go. But for me, I really value the in-person theater
Me
experience.
too,
Yes, it's a dying art, I must say. Uh,
sadly.
yeah, really sadly. But I'm really glad that this film is going to be screened in person with actual humans. Will it be in my neck of the woods, New York City?
Let me look at some of the cities that they have. They gave me a list, and it's a
Okay.
short one, sadly. But it's going to be in LA at a couple of Lumleys, also in Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, and Seattle. Where are you again?
New York.
Damn, we got to get a New York theater. What the
You
hell?
do, you do, and I think I should. I think I'll be there to congratulate you in person.
Definitely. I'd like to do that, Randy. I'm going to
Great.
lobby them hard. I'm going to get tough with them now. We got to have a New York screening.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I love it. I love it. We're forming an alliance. This is great.
About
Um,
time.
yes, yes. So I just want to talk a little bit about the directors here. It is actually a dual effort from Greg Porper and John Shimke. Shimke. Uh,
Yeah.
what was it like working with these fine gentlemen?
They were great. You know, you go, oh boy, what am I in for when there's two directors? You know, who do you listen to? Who has final say? But they work very well together. They collaborate well with each other and with every actor in the set and every grip, every electrician, every sound guy. You know, they're just wonderful, wonderful guys. And, you know, I met them through a Zoom call or something before I started working on it. And I thought, you know, these guys are great because they're both funny and very kind to an old geezer. So I'll forever be in their debt. It's a funny, funny movie, dark and weird and wonderful, just like me. And Greg Porper and John Shimke. I love these guys. We've become great friends.
Yeah, they really have a really like a good control over the actors and the mood of the like the tone of the film. Like I mentioned, it's a very I love movies like this. I love dark comedies, and this film is a prime example of that. I don't think I've seen a movie quite as funny actually in maybe months. So again, it's a testament to you, to the rest of the cast, and the filmmakers. So congrats again.
Thank you so much, Randy.
Yeah. So it is a comedy, and you are, you've done a lot of comedies yourself, obviously. Are there, what makes a great comedy? What makes a good joke land?
I had the good fortune to meet and become very close friends with and work with people like Dabney Coleman, Alan Arkin, you know, Peter Falk, Charles Grodin, and
Mm-hmm.
these people all, when they did comedy, they were never doing comedy. Okay, we got some laughs coming here. It was
Right.
always like they're doing Chekhov, like they're doing Ibsen. They play it straight, and it was, of course, hilariously funny. If you play it straight, you know, the jokes really, for my money, land like a 747. You know,
Right.
they know how to, all those guys I just mentioned know how to do it. And these guys, Greg and John, know how to do it. You don't have to play it for laughs. You can get big when you need to get big, but you lay that carpet of reality, that Alan Arkin, Peter
Mhm.
Falk reality, that Charles Grodin reality. You know, it's like he's doing Rosemary's Baby, which he did. You know, he played a
That's right.
small role in that movie, very dramatic movie, of course.
Yeah.
But he played it straight, he's a wonderful dramatic actor. Dabney Coleman is a perfect example. Great dramatic actor, great comedian, because he never plays it for laughs.
Mhm.
True and honest at every moment. And there comes the comedy.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, you listed some of the greats right there for sure, and you have worked with some greats too. I just wanted to mention that you were in Batman Forever, and
That's right.
Val Kilmer he recently passed, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about that film and what your experience was like on Batman Forever.
I had a great time in that movie. I knew Val for many years. I knew him back when he was dating Cher back in the 80s. I'd known him a long time. This was 94. We worked on that movie. And it was just wonderful Batman, you know, incarnation that he did. And the director was, oh God, I know him. He passed away, but he was a wonderful director, Joel Schumacher.
Joel Schumacher. Yep.
Yeah, I'd done a TV movie with him and Randy Quaid and
Mm.
Tanya Tucker and some people called, uh, Oh, it doesn't matter what it was called because I think it came and went pretty quickly. But
Mm.
it was a very good TV movie. I'd worked with him before, and so working with him on this, the first frame of the movie that I'm in, the first moment that I have before they're even rolling during rehearsal, I came out there and I decided to go Franklin Pangborn and get really big and Mr. Wayne. And I did that kind
You're
of
right.
thing, which is I talk about being based in reality. That's a little bigger than reality.
A little
I
bit.
decided to be big and bold. And Joel said, "That's wonderful. Do it just like that." I thought he'd say, "Begley, Begley, tone it down. What the hell's the matter with you?"
I mean, but look at the movie around you. It's such a loud, colorful film. You have to be that persona
You
to make
have to. You're
that,
right.
you know?
And wasn't Jim Carrey fantastic
Oh
as
yeah.
the Riddler? He was
And
so good.
like that was the summer, it was the summer before 1994 and then 95. As a kid, I was obsessed with Jim Carrey. And I actually was the Riddler for Halloween 1995.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, so I was a fan, still am, and but yeah, that's a wonderful film, and I'm so happy that you were that a part of that really good movie. I mean, what are your thoughts, real quick, on the current state of superhero movies?
I haven't seen them the way I used to watch them. I used to watch them more. I don't. There's so much that's about the CGI and other stuff.
All right.
I suppose I should give them another shot. Maybe there's some good work being done. I know I did definitely see, Joaquin Phoenix in The Joker,
Oh yes,
and he's
yes,
such a fine actor. I can watch him in anything, and he's always excellent.
it's awesome.
That movie, they can have their CGI or not have it. Doesn't matter to me. When you get performances like you get with every movie with Joaquin Phoenix,
Right.
count me in. And Frances Conroy is his mother.
Mm,
That's a
great
real
actor. I
wonderful
love.
work being done there with those two. So you got that carpet of reality laid down, and then it's not a comedy. It's otherwise. There's a few funny moments in it, but mostly not.
Right.
But you can go anywhere and do anything because you've been as real as those two actors are, and then some.
Yeah, you have to have talented actors in a superhero film. Otherwise, it's gonna fail. Uh,
Yeah, I agree.
Uh, would would you ever reprise your role from Batman Forever in a future Batman movie?
Absolutely. I guess they could say he didn't quite hit the rocks. That chair that Jim Carrey threw him out of the window, it got caught on a landing.
Yeah.
And he somehow survived. I'd be in a
I
wheelchair or
like
something.
I
I'd
love it.
happily do something. I'm going to pitch that to them.
You know, they have the Penguin TV series. I could definitely see one for that character too. So
Count me in.
yeah,
And Stickley. I think my name was Stickley. No, Fred
yeah,
Stickley. Fred Stickley, I think.
that's
Yeah.
right. I think you survived. I don't know. I'm hopeful.
I'm going to go that way. I'm going to
Yeah,
act like I
good.
survived, and maybe they'll let me live.
Yes, yes, I'm looking for that. Also, I want to talk about another film. This is probably a little out of left field, but another comedy from that time, from 1994. This one was an ensemble cast. Great film, so underrated or underrated. Uh, Greedy. Do you remember
I
Greedy?
agree. My friend, we're going to be friends for a long time. I'll tell you something. I just saw it like a year ago. They were
Right.
screening out in Santa Ana, and I went to it. Oh, this would be nice to see it. Some other people were going to be there for the movie. Nobody else came but me.
Oh
I went.
no.
I went. Oh, no, I'll sit and watch it. I'm here already at Santa Ana. It's about an
So
hour and a
under,
half,
you never hear
about
about
two
this
hours
movie.
away.
It's
So I
so
sat there
good.
and watched it, buddy. It's fantastic. Those
Yes.
fight scenes that have, with Phil Hartman and Jerry Burns and what have you, and some of the other
Oh.
stuff they do, this physical comedy and what have you, big and bold, but real as anything you've ever seen. Wonderful.
And
Kirk
you,
Douglas, for God's sake, Michael J. Fox,
yeah, you've got
Joyce Heiser.
Kirk Douglas is a movie legend, obviously, and he's fantastic. Also plays it straight and hilarious at the same time.
I agree. Lots of
And
twists and turns in that you don't see coming. I didn't see them coming when I read the script.
oh my, yeah, how did you?
Very funny, just funny, funny, funny for my
Yeah.
my money.
Like that was such an amazing cast, and you're in the opening scene with the two boys and your wife, and you're just trying to get them to come to your uncle's birthday party,
Yeah, I
and
set the tone for what a person's willing to
you
go through.
did
The way
basically.
somebody would stoop, they'd stoop so low to try to get in on somebody's will and their inheritance.
I
Just
know.
sad to watch,
It is sad, but it's
but
done
also funny.
so well, so humorously, and I can imagine that being one of the more fun sets to be on.
Jonathan Lynn is a great
Mm.
director, a great actor. He plays the butler in it too, of
Oh,
course.
that's right.
Just wonderful.
Mhm.
He's good in everything. Nuns on the Run, you name it. He just anything that he does, just fantastic. My cousin Vinny,
Yeah.
Great director, great actor.
What was it like working with Michael J. Fox?
Fantastic. I've known
Obviously,
him
I'm
a
a
bit.
fan, you know.
Yep. He was big and bold, wonderful in that, but also quite real. He was on Family Ties and I was on St. Elsewhere at the same
Mhm.
time. So we'd see each other at all the NBC kind of holiday parties and what have you, and different NBC events back in the day in the 80s, early 80s.
Oh man,
And he and I are still great friends. I hear from him occasionally. I love hearing from him.
that's great. That's great. But yeah, I had to mention Greedy because that movie is just really it's definitely one of the greats in my opinion.
I agree. I'm glad you brought it up. I forget to give it its due, which is a lot. It's a
Yeah,
funny, funny film.
really forgotten, unfortunately. I think we're the only two people that really like strongly feel for it. I hope there's more out there for this,
I
but
hope so too.
it's a great
The
one.
people that night in Santa Ana loved it. They flipped for it.
That's I love that. I love that. I also wanted to talk about another piece of nostalgia. You were on two episodes of the Larry Sanders Show,
Right.
and I am obsessed with that show. I'm obsessed with the late great Gary Shandling. Uh, what was your experience like on that show?
Anything I ever did with the great Gary Shandling was always fantastic.
Mm,
He was hosting the Tonight Show many times that I was on it. I did it originally when Johnny was still hosting it. Then it was Jay Leno. Then it was Gary. Then it was, different people did it.
mm,
But Gary was always great in that. He was great in the Gary Shandling show before the Larry Sanders show.
mm.
Larry Sanders is a brilliant piece of television film. I'm sorry, television history right there.
Yeah.
A great, great TV show. And Gary was one of the best writers, one of the funniest men in Hollywood. Could always, be counted on to liven up a party or
Mhm.
anything, any sort of event that you're having. But he went to the mic, you're in for something extremely special. He was one of the funniest people I ever met and a
Wow.
good man, a sweet and wonderful person.
Was that your only time working with him on those two episodes?
Yeah, other than being on the Johnny Carson show with
Oh,
him
and that too.
for,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
yeah.
that's it. Just those two episodes.
Wow. Love that. No, I'm really like that's currently my favorite TV show, maybe after Seinfeld. And it's just so funny. It's so like it feels real, but at the same time like a dream. I don't know. Just something about it. It just makes me feel really happy.
Me
And
too.
yeah, I'm happy you were a part of that as well.
Yeah, I loved it. I love the show. And
Now,
I was up for the role of Hank. Jeffrey
yeah.
Tambor is a friend of mine, and I heard that Jeffrey was up for it too. I went, "Oh, I'm dead meat. No way can I get a part that Jeffrey Tambor is up for." He's one of the funniest people I'd ever met.
Yeah, he's
Was
great.
and is. He's just great. And so when I heard he was up for it, I threw my script out the window because I know I was never going to hear from him because he was
Wow.
so goddamn good in that. I would have been fine in that role of Hank,
Yeah.
but I could never have been 1/10 as good as Jeffrey Tambor. Never.
I think that you would have been a very interesting choice as Hank.
Very different. Very different.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they made the right choice. It was just he was so perfect as Hank. I
I
just
mean, you're both so good. Like you've got great comedic timing, both of you. So I don't. It's just like it's apples and oranges, though. It's weird.
Randy. My timing is fine, but please don't mention me in the same sentence as the great Jeffrey Tambor.
Okay, fair, fair. So that's good.
He's a comic god. His timing is
Yes.
just there's nothing better. Yeah,
All right.
it doesn't get any better than that.
Now I'm curious also. So obviously you have been in a number of Christopher Guest films. What was the initial meeting like with Christopher? How did you guys link up? I'm curious.
We met in New York. He was doing a recording session for the National Lampoon. There was some like the show Lemmings, there was some other additional radio dinner, that National Lampoon album that they had, a comedy album. There was
Hmm.
something that they were doing after that album had come out. I met him through Tony Hendra, the editor of the National Lampoon at that time, mid
Okay.
70s.
Hmm.
And then he did a movie with my friend Bruno Kirby and my other dear friend Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
And they did a movie called, I think it was called Between the Lines.
okay.
And he was in that movie. And so he came to LA and decided to stay. And so I got to know him even better through Bruno and Jeff and all that gang. And we became very good friends. And I was an assistant cameraman for him on a little short that he was doing, that Chris Guest was doing. So
Hmm.
I got to know him that way. And then they asked me to do just a quick favor. They were going to do a demo reel kind of a thing, a sizzle reel thing for this movie they're going to do called Spinal Tap. So they
Hmm.
asked me to play the drummer, and it wouldn't be part of the movie, but just a little something to help sell it. but then the low res kind of kinescope look of the what we had done proved to be an asset when they went to do it as a movie because they quickly got the funding, I think, for it.
Oh,
Didn't take long to find somebody who wanted to put up money for that. And
wow.
they did, and they kept that old looking kinescope thing that we had done with the early incarnation of the Spinal Tap band.
Hmm.
And I played the drummer, and they kept me in the movie, thank God.
That's great. And the rest is history. You've done
Yeah, the rest is Best in Show, Mighty Win for your
love it.
consideration. I keep getting the call from Kristen. Whenever the call comes from him, it's a joyous day.
Yeah, I think your last film with Chris was Mascots in 2000.
Mascots is correct. That is
Yeah.
correct.
I think you guys can do anything, like any type of environment, any type of topic, you know. I'm trying to think of something you guys have not done. Maybe something with like Comic-Cons, you know, like
Maybe.
maybe conventions, like science fiction something like that.
Chris knows how to do it. I could never
Yeah.
do what he does. He does all the heavy lifting. He writes the 25-page thing with Jim Pettick, before that with Eugene Levy.
Okay.
And he does that hard work. It takes him about a year to write it. And then with that 25-page outline, then they have a party and invite all their friends, you know, Michael Hitchcock and Michael Higgins and this one and that one and Catherine O'Hara and Eugene and everybody. And then we get to have fun, and they've done all the heavy lifting by writing the, you know, the 25-page outline, and then they cut it together.
But there's a lot of improv too, right? And do you ever
A lot, yeah.
do you ever contribute to the script at all?
Yeah, I was given, you know, they made it known that if you wanted to do something, the truth is, now that I think about it, like Best in Show, there's no real dialogue written that I remember in that movie. Some of them, there's a few key lines they want you to hit, but in this one, there's no dialogue. Just Jerry and Cookie Fleck, which is Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara. Jerry and Cookie Fleck try to check into the hotel. The credit card doesn't work. Period. End of sentence.
Nice.
That's it. So then you got to just do whatever you want, think is real and appropriate with Eugene and Catherine. And you can't go wrong. If I just stood there on the other side of the desk at a hotel desk, you know, I'm in. They're so good. I just got to try to hold my own with those two.
Oh, man.
Did you see her in the studio? Wasn't she great in the studio if you saw that?
Yeah, it's been a while, but I mean, I love all the films. I think Best in Show might be my favorite of the guests. I also liked A Mighty Wind and Waiting for Guffman. Those were very good.
Yeah, I love Guffman.
You know,
that's the best, and I'm not.
I love that.
You know, I'm
now,
when I say it's my favorite.
Are you close with these guys? All the cast members, like these are
yes,
fun
like
people.
To say that. I will say it. I feel very close to them. I hope they feel the same towards me. Yeah, they're great people and great, talented improv actors and comedians and dramatic actors. They do it all. Michael McKean is on Broadway right now. You know, with Glengarry, Glenn Ross, and
oh yeah,
got to get back to New York to see that because I hear he's wonderful in that, as is everybody. Bob Odenkirk is in it too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
are you a fan of the Glengarry Glen Ross film?
I am. I'm a fan of the film. I'm a fan of the stage play. I'm a fan of Mamet. I'm a fan of American Buffalo. And I've done probably 4 or 5 Mamet plays over the years, and just love getting that call from him to be in another play or
yeah. I mean,
a radio show or
I could definitely see you in Glengarry. Would you ever maybe like Shelley Levine?
Oh yeah, Shelley
that would be perfect.
Yeah, that'd be a great part.
Or even George Aronow, Alan Arkin's character.
Right. Oh, of course, that's a great part.
I mean, I think you could pretty much play all of them, but yeah, I would love to see you on stage. Like that would be very cool.
Yeah, I've enjoyed my time on stage in different Mamet productions. I did a play called Romance, one called November. I did a play called The Cryptogram with Dave directing in New York, and before that in Boston. So had a few times working with Dave Mamet. He's a huge talent.
Now, you know, your filmography is great. You've done TV, you've done film, stage, obviously. Do you prefer one medium over the other, or are they kind of like equal to you?
Back in the day when I was growing up and starting to work as an actor, there was a real hard line in the sand, very definite cutoff between film actors and TV actors. You know, the big stars would never deign to do television. The TV actors were kind of stuck in TV, or so they thought, until they broke out with a hit done in their spare time from their TV show. So there was a real line of demarcation.
Hmm.
But that changed over the years. And now the biggest stars out there go, I want to show, like the Bryan Cranston show he did Breaking Bad. I don't want to work just 6 weeks or 6 months on a movie. I want to work 6, 7 years like he did on a
Right.
TV show. It sounds good to me. So there's no difference. People, want to do television as much as they wanted to do any movie. And it's really the best job you can get as an actor to have a show, a project, a movie, call it whatever you want, a TV show that runs
Yeah.
that long, has a job that you have some sort of job security if just for 3 years, 4 years, 6 years. The case of St. Elsewhere, the one steady job I had in television. And the other thing, it used to be that television was kind of inferior quality wise to
Yeah.
feature films. But then
Right.
I got this show called St. Elsewhere that I mentioned a moment ago, back in 1982, and that script was better than any movie script I had ever gotten. Other
Interesting.
actors, film actors, got better scripts than that, perhaps, but not me. I got movie scripts, and In-Laws was a pretty good script. Let me not include that one, but everything else, they were never as good as this TV show that was supposed to be the small screen, supposed to be inferior. And I
Right.
did that. And then after 6 years on that, then I was kind of set.
Okay.
You got to really screw up bad after you've been on a show like that, like Hill Street Blues, like St. Elsewhere, like
Yeah.
ER, a drama that lasts that long. And we were nothing compared to ER as far as the time it ran. That was
Mhm.
on for like what, 12 years?
Something.
There's
Yeah.
another incarnation of it on now, I think, isn't there?
Right. Well, you know what now? Now that I think the TV show has replaced the movie.
I
There,
think so too.
the TV show is the new cinematic experience, and
Yeah.
the stories are rich, the characters are great, and because all you see really in movie theaters now are mostly superhero movies and sequels, and it's just
Yeah.
it's so boring, it's so depressing to me but at least we have quality stories on the TV screen, so
To do that. I
that's what
agree
I'm grateful for.
100%.
It's really all about the art, all about the storytelling, and I'm obviously you know all about that.
Yeah, I
So,
worked with Vince Gilligan, so I know, there's
mm,
no movie director, writer out there doing better work in movies than he is doing in television, that supposedly smaller screen. And
yeah,
now I'm looking at my screen right now, there's nothing small about it. It's huge.
yeah,
For me, it's a very similar experience, minus the people, that important element of seeing with other people, which is a
yeah.
big plus that I don't want to discount. But it's kind of just visually for me, it's kind of where I usually sit in the theater, which is I sit in the first few rows to be immersed in the experience.
Right,
Go to sit and watch it on my big screen TV. It's not the same. I'm not saying it is.
right.
It's a good second position backup plan if you can't get to the theater.
That's right. I agree. But the one like the thing I love about going to the theater, the smell of popcorn, that just kind of
I
just
love it too. I
it
know.
it
I'm all
grounds
about the
you.
corn. I
Yeah,
know.
it's lovely. It's a good thing. Also, there's another movie I do want to bring up, and you'll understand why. But first let me tell you a little background about this. I'm part of a charity organization, the New York City Ghostbusters, and we a bunch of guys, 30s and 40s, we dress up, we go to kids events, and we set up a slime lab for them, teaching them all about the chemistry of making slime or polymers. You were in the Ghostbusters remake, the reboot.
That's correct.
Yes. What was that experience like? And are you contacted by people in the Ghostbusters community? Did they respect your role? Did they respect your contribution to the community?
I didn't get a lot of feedback about that movie when it came out or in the years that have gone by since.
Mm,
But I sure like doing it. Paul Feig is a favorite of mine. I love his movies. I love everything about him. He directed some of the great episodes of Arrested Development
oh yes.
and Freaks and Geeks. I believe he worked on that as well. Wonderful director, wonderful writer. So to work with him was great. To work with those ladies, I really like Kate McKinnon, and I like all of them. Kristen Wiig.
Mhm.
Uh, they're just wonderful, wonderful comic actors, dramatic actors. Melissa
Mhm.
McCarthy, just genius. Just love her. It was a great cast, and I really like the movie. I know some people who were and remained smitten with the original movie that they weren't as fond of that, and that's their right. But I
Right.
liked it. I thought it was good and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent film. It's not my favorite, no offense. As a hardcore ghost head, uh, it served its purpose, and I think you did a good job in that too. And yeah, I just wanted to mention that, and you know, if you were here in person, I would give you a Ghostbusters challenge coin because that's our our sign of respect for anyone involved with the film or the franchise. So.
That's very nice. Thank you,
Yeah.
Kenny.
So maybe I'll
I
see
hope I
you in
get to meet
person.
you for that
Yeah.
very reason. I hope I get to meet you one day.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. So I do want to switch gears a little bit now. Now, obviously, you are a big environmentalist. You love you're a big you love Earth, and you've had all this great experience, basically keeping the planet healthy. Um,
Thank you,
what
Randy.
what sparked this passion for environmentalism?
Well, that's easy to say. I grew up in LA. I grew up in smoggy LA. So after, 20 years of living in that smog, I went, enough already. I want to be part of something different,
Hmm.
something that will clean up the horrible mess we've made of LA air.
Done.
And let me tell you this, we all focus on, we should be aware of and focus on and try to solve the many problems we have. We have to also remember, we must remember our successes too.
Okay.
From 1970 to date, from that Earth Day to date, we have 4 times the cars in LA, millions more people, but a fraction of the smog. Look what we did. 4 times the cars, millions more people, a fraction of the smog. That's a big success story. Everything we hoped would work did work.
Mm-hmm.
Cleaning up the power plants, cleaning up the tailpipes, cleaning up the backyard barbecues, you name it. Everything we did to clean up the air did it, and we didn't go broke doing it. So we have to value those things that can help keep us all healthy, because there's a cost to doing nothing. If you don't do anything about that smoggy air, you're going to have big costs and emphysema, asthma, lung cancer, lots of problems with people's breathing. Mm-hmm. So we fixed that and saved a lot of money in so doing on healthcare, and it's more efficient too. Everything about it works good. I have a wonderful, what they call a LEED platinum home, which is highly energy efficient. It's a very inexpensive way to live because I put all the money into investing in clean green technology that will last.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I respect that, sir. That it's really commendable. And I know you've been at this lifestyle for decades, right?
Yes, since 1970. That's, my God, wow. That's 55 years.
That's crazy. And you're going strong. I love it. That's so good. So, all right. I just wanted to wrap things up a bit and ask you if there are any other projects you're working on now, anything you want to plug right now?
Now, I do have a book. I'll plug that for a second, if you'll allow me. I have a book.
Sure.
I wrote a memoir called To the Temple of Tranquility, and step on it. So here we are. Here's my little memoir. That's me as a young man.
That's you. Oh, my. So, you look like Owen Wilson there.
I should be so lucky to look at any point in my life.
You have a nicer nose.
You're very kind.
Of course.
And I thank you.
Yes. And Ed Begley Jr., I want to thank you, sir, for your time. Also, before we go, you mentioned a bunch of theaters that Don't Tell Larry is playing at. I know that it'll be in theaters and on demand on June 20th. So
June 20th is correct.
Yes, June 20th. So guys, please, whoever's watching and listening right now, check out Don't Tell Larry. It's a lot of fun. It's dark and weird and quirky and just a good ride. And thanks to Ed here, it is a quality comedy. So Ed, again, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Randy. Great to talk to you.
You too. So, all right, guys, I'm Randy Unger. This has been Under the Radar, bringing movies and people together one frame at a time. We'll see you next time. Take care.